right, you ready? I'm Michael Mattingly. My wife is Megan, and then we have our 3 wonderful kids. Noah is our middle one. He is 11. Noah's just his own kid. He's awesome. He's had to live his life differently, so he does his best to maximize it. I don't know if it's because of how he is as a person or of just everything he's been through. I mean, who has cancer 5 times?
I don't know many people that get cancer 5 times and survive it 5 times. Like, usually they're gone before that happens.
Hi, I'm Noah. I'm 11 years old. I like playing Fortnite.
Fortnite?
Yeah. I like being outside. I like peaches.
He had this just lump on his stomach, so Megan called the pediatrician.
And got in, and they immediately sent us down to Cincinnati Children's.
They came down and they told us, they're like, we think it's a Wilms tumor based on it being in the kidney.
So Wilms tumor is the most common kidney tumor that happens in children. Wilms tumor in children is really our best example of multimodal therapy for pediatric cancer. We know that kids will have excellent outcomes when we combine surgery to remove the primary tumor with a skilled surgeon, then systemic chemotherapy or chemotherapy that is delivered to the entire body. And some kids, depending on risk factors, will also need radiation therapy to complete their total treatment course. Noah's journey has been a little bit different because he's had to go back to the operating room multiple times. Unfortunately, Noah's had recurrence or return of his disease in his lungs and in the lining of the cavity that the lungs sit in. Each of those surgeries, requires a pretty challenging recovery, but Noah has done remarkably well through them.
The first time we heard relapse, it was awful. And then the second time it was bad. And, I could think that those were like some of the worst days of my life. But, as we were talking with Noah, it just became kind of like,
I expected it.
We've expected it at this point. They've all put their heads together from initial treatment to the relapse treatment. And after that, there's really no playbook.
Here at Cincinnati Children's, we have a unique opportunity of being part of a phase 1 consortium. So phase 1 studies are early phase clinical trials. Our goal is to determine that a medication is a safe option, and then we carry on through later phase clinical trials to determine what the efficacy of that drug is.
Having access to the clinical trials is amazing because it provides hope. Maybe some other places don't always have access to those. We're lucky to have Cincinnati Children's to have access to these trials and, to just, like I said, have hope.
We are really lucky here at Cincinnati Children's to have experts in all divisions. We come together every week at a multidisciplinary tumor board where patients that have challenging courses will be discussed in a large group format. When we all sit down together, everyone can lend their area of specific expertise to develop the best treatment plan possible. In addition to that, just in oncology alone, we are very lucky to have a really well-rounded team assigned to every patient that comes here for therapy or treatment at Cincinnati Children's.
Let's think back some of the things that you're most proud or happy about during this whole journey. What are you the most proud of?
I'm proud of my family supporting me all the way. My mom, my dad.
Towards that desk down there.
My whole family.
Good job.
What's this down?
I know, we're just gonna go to this desk, buddy.
Good
job. It's hard.
We know that he's a 5-time survivor, and this is the longest he's ever been out of treatment, but at the same time, we know he's not out of the woods yet. We hope Noah continues to have clear scans throughout perpetuity here, but at the same time, whatever happens, they've given us many extra years with him that maybe other kids didn't get the chance to have.
Ready, set, go.
Want to just hit this window and walk on back to your room? That sounds like a great first walk to me.
We're lucky to have, Cincinnati Children's and be in Cincinnati, and it's just amazing that we have this level of care.
As a pediatric oncologist, I always say the highs are extremely high and the lows are extremely low. And it's really the experience with the patients that keeps me coming back. I know for kids like Noah that have had really hard courses with very stubborn disease that keeps coming back, we can figure out how to treat it. And we have to. We have to figure out a way that cures these kids and allows them to live long, happy, healthy lives, because that's what they deserve.
Having the doctors we had and knowing the experience they had and the research they've done, especially with Wilms tumors, made my trust in them. Like, I didn't feel that I needed to get a second opinion. The staff at Cincinnati Children's made it so much easier to have to deal with this. Between child life, social work, the school advocates, the financial advocates, everybody has been so wonderful and warm. And nobody wants to have their kid in the hospital, but if you have to have your child in the hospital, Cincinnati Children's is the place to be.